Hey, what's going on, Black people? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I had a thought I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that it's taken with the spirit that it's intended. It has to do with Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown has, this brother has set the internet on fire. He is calling people out, breaking things down, doing some real interesting stuff, and I really enjoy watching it kind of happen. I'm curious to see how it's going to play out, and I know a lot of people are into it right now. He's probably the most talked about person on the internet. I mean, Kwame Brown is a guy that I didn't think much about him, to be honest with you, until recently, until all this started happening. I knew of him like a lot of people did because of his play in the NBA. But it seemed to me that the whole idea of being called a bust for 20 years, it's unfair, and I can see how stressful that could be. But here's the interesting thing, right? I want to share this thought about the whole Kwame Brown situation. And I didn't really get involved too much. I did get hit up by Steven Jackson. I have to be honest with you. Steven Jackson messaged me. I've never talked to the guy. I didn't know what he wanted to talk about. I'm willing to hear anybody out in terms of what their perspective might be. I think everybody deserves to have a voice, but Steve and I never really talked. And to be honest with you, I don't really know even what my role in that all that would be. But here's what I can tell you that I've observed in terms of watching Kwame. I started watching a lot of his videos, and and I mean, it's good. It's really interesting stuff, and I agree with a lot of it. I mean, I'd never Jamel Hill. I've always thought Jamel Hill was full of shit. Stephen A. I'm about 40-60 on Stephen A. Sometimes he's fine, but other times he gets on. Stuff he does gets on my nerves. I do agree that the black elite are owned and controlled by the powers that be. White supremacy is everywhere. You guys know we've been talking about this for years. I mean, if you've been watching this channel more than a month, then you know that this is something that we've been discussing for a long time. How white-owned media, they don't want to hear from real black people. Like, think about this. Why is it that Dr. Claude Anderson is never invited on these major media outlets, but yet they'll bring some buffoon who knows nothing about economics on there, so it's kind of disrespectful. But then again, though, they've been disrespecting you for 400 years. They've never respected you. They've never liked you. Some of y'all Negroes are so stupid that you think that Joe Biden is your buddy, and Joe Biden incarcerated more black men than any president in American history. So how the hell is a guy who incarcerated more black men than any president in American history suddenly your hero and your idol and your homeboy? I don't get that. That's the craziest thing in the world to me. And thank God he's showing exactly who he is. But anyway, with that said, I want to, kind of point out a couple of thoughts that I had about Kwame. There's literally nothing that I need you to do with this information. It's just me. I like to think. I'm a thinker, right? And I'm an observer and a watcher, and I like to see which way the wind's blowing. And here's the thing about Kwame that's really interesting. Kwame is he's digging into this internet thing. He's taking off kind of the way Kevin Samuels did. I noticed that when Kevin Samuels, three people I think about that just blew up on the internet just quickly were Kwame, Kevin Samuels, and also that rapper Takashi 6ix9ine. He was the guy that did all the snitching. And one thing I noticed is that all of them figured out like what the formula was. They saw that everybody was going crazy, and it was that they were getting 10, 20, 30,000 people watching their lives. So each of them kind of had a formula, and each of them started milking the cow, making a ton of content and all that. Like Kevin Samuels goes live probably two, three times a day, it seems like, and he's good. He's damn good at what he does. Takashi, when Gummo came out, where he was pretending to be a gangster, and it worked really well. Next thing you know, every video sounded like Gummo. And then with Kwame loves going online. He loves having his platform, and I'm happy for the brother. I really am. It's no problem with it at all. I mean, I'm sure people are scrambling and very upset that he's not owned and controlled by anybody, and that's what makes people like that very dangerous, right? If you have a guy that's smart, that sees what's going on, that cares about black people, and isn't scared to say what needs to be said, and there's not a white guy that can pick up the phone and control him, then that's a dangerous black man. Now, when you talk about Charlemagne, I see somebody said talk to your friend Charlemagne, etc. Well, Charlemagne is my friend. Charlemagne has always been respectful to me, and I told, and even Steven Jackson. I don't know Steven Jackson, but I'm not. I don't have a. I'm not going to dislike him just because Kwame dislikes him. Some of y'all have to understand discernment. Like sometimes you have people where you might be cool with both people, but they just don't like each other, and that's fine. That doesn't mean you have to pick a side, right? I don't think that the public should feel like they have to pick a side. The only side I want you to pick is the black side, right? The side that I pick is I'm B1, period. Like that's it. That's what I am. That's that. I've been that consistently for 20 years. I've never shifted my tune. I pretty much give you what I see, and I'm as honest as I can be, and I give zero fucks what anybody thinks about that. I never have, never will, never do. Now, with that said, though, here's what I'm observing with Kwame, and this is what my warning actually in terms of where this is going to go. Kwame is powerful because he's a populist. I heard him literally use the term "we the people," right? And that's a populist kind of sentiment, and populist energy. That is the kind of energy that you have behind like the summer protests with Black Lives Matter. Populist energy what was behind the movement on the right when the people stormed the Capitol. Populist energy is what is behind like the Tea Party or the French Revolution. That's a long-term idea that's been around for 1,000 years. So Kwame is a populist, and that's why so many people love him, because he's speaking up for the people that don't have a voice. So a lot of people that don't have a voice are like, this is great. This guy is really saying what we want to hear. He's saying the things that other people won't say. He's calling out the elite for their behavior, which they certainly should be dealt with. They should be held accountable. So, I'm fine with that. I don't have any issue with how he does his thing, because that's his platform. But the other thing about Kwame that's interesting is the way he challenges the black elite. He talks about the black elite that's on TV and speaks that honest truth that we've always talked about on this platform, that a lot of times the worst ideas get out to the black community because the Negroes on TV care nothing about actually going in and building for the community. And the reason they don't is because if they do that, they'll be punished. They'll be taken off the platform and replaced by somebody who plays ball. So as he calls, the go along to get along gang, basically is, and this is one of the reasons why I don't really answer the phone most of the time when black celebrities reach out to me, is because I don't want to be in that club. Because what happens is that when you start gaining power, then they start inviting you into the circle. They start pulling you in. And next thing you know, when you do a video, somebody's calling you saying, hey, man, I saw what you said about so-and-so, and I'm hoping that you could, like, not do that anymore, not say that anymore, or change your tune a little bit. I've had that happen. I remember Mark Lamar Hill called me about something I said about Melissa Ford, the video vixen lady. And no disrespect, I just gave my honest opinion. I remember Al Sharpton used to do that. When I was hanging out with Al Sharpton, he would call me and kind of try to sway my opinion or lobby me, right? People want to connect and be able to have access to you. And so the best way to kind of keep an independent voice is to have some degree of isolationism or an extensive amount of vetting that you do to ensure that you don't let too many people in your space. So unlike a lot of people who want to get closer to celebrities, I always kind of stayed away from them, right? Ice Cube, I talked to Ice Cube because Ice Cube fully convinced me that Ice Cube is trying his best to be independent and do what's best for black people. So at that point, that's when I knew that we had a similar interest. That's when I knew that, okay, I could talk to this guy. That's when I knew, like, okay, this brother's really trying to do something good. Whereas there have been other people that tried to connect, that reached out, where I was like, I don't really know if this is going to really be a productive friendship, because I think you have too many cooks in the kitchen. You have too many interests that you're trying to look out for that are going to get in the way of us being able to get things done. So I like the fact that Kwame appears to be somewhat independent. I like when he says, look, you invited me on your show. I don't want to go on your show, right? He doesn't need to go on anybody's show. Like, why in the flying fuck do we even validate mainstream bullshit white-owned media where they're telling lies every single day by basically trying to get in and get on there? The reason Roland Martin is such a ridiculous buffoon half the damn time is because Roland's trying to get a damn job. Roland wants to get hired at CNN. Roland wants NBC to call him. Roland, I'm sure his testicles get gushy when he gets a phone call from some major white media outlet that acknowledges him, right? Negroes are always searching for validation, and what I've always told you is that you should get your validation inside. You are already good enough. You matter already. You don't need these people to acknowledge you for you to be worthy. So at the end of the day, that's what I really like about it. I'm like, okay, this guy's sitting there in his bedroom doing videos, talking shit, and nobody can really touch him or get at him. At least it doesn't appear that way. Now, with that said, though, here's what I want to kind of get you to consider, and I hope I can say this and still be loved. I worry about Kwame's platform, uh, not just because he's pissing off the elite, The elite, what they tend to do is they will, they will discredit. That's one of the things that they've been trying to do, and that's something that kind of went bad. I mean, Charlemagne, I think he's going to have some challenges because he got to deal with that whole thing from 20 years ago. He said some things where he ended up having to backpedal. And I don't know how that's going to work out for him. I don't really know. I literally, again, I can tell you, I can only speak to how he's treated me. He's always treated me with decency and respect. Another reason why I'm not throwing Charlemagne out in with the garbage is because Charlemagne, or if you recall, was the guy who got Louis Farrakhan onto the Breakfast Club when all these white-owned media outlets would not have him on there. That's a good thing. He got Dr. Claude Anderson onto the Breakfast Club. I worked with him to get Dr. Anderson on the Breakfast Club, where millions of people got exposed to powernomics and ideas of independent black wealth and power. That's a good thing. I worked with him to get Tariq Nasheed on the Breakfast Club because I remember Tariq reached out and said, "Hey, can you link me up with Charlemagne?" I said, "Sure." I linked them up, so I that got Hidden Colors more out in the mainstream. So that was a good thing. So what I'm saying is that I think that what you definitely want to do as you kind of process all this is don't think that you always have to pick sides. That's my point. I think it's kind of sad when people feel like you either all or nothing. Either we love the shit out of you and believe everything you say and you're perfect, or we hate your guts and you ain't nothing. You just a big old buffoon. You a coon. Man. Come on now. I mean, seriously. Again, stupid people can do this, right? You got a lot of stupid people out here. A lot of our community is stupid, backward, don't want to think, not critical thinkers. That's not our strength as a community. To be honest, the critical thinking isn't really, for many of us, that's not our strength. But for those of you that want to be critical thinkers, I encourage you to realize that just because somebody on the internet or your favorite media personality has a beef with somebody, that you don't have to pick a side. You don't have to say, I hate you and I love you. Like, for example, Umar Johnson has hated me for 6 years. Umar Johnson has been mad at me since 2015 when I basically told my truth about how I felt about that school, which it's 6 years later, school still ain't been built. I think it's kind of hilarious, to be honest with you. So Umar's been pissed at me for a long time. And one thing I made it very clear to you guys back in the day is do not pick sides. Just because Umar doesn't like me, and because I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't work with the guy. I don't feel like be comfortable doing that. That doesn't mean you have to say, well, I like Umar and I don't like Boyce, or I like Boyce and I don't like Umar. It's okay to say, I rock with both of y'all, and I wish y'all would have more unity. But whatever, y'all can beef, but I'm gonna go and keep building. Right? Beefing is the exact opposite of building. Too much beefing is a destructive energy. It's not a building energy. So just understand, beefing is not building. Beefing is entertainment. Beefing is gossipy. Beefing is something that people enjoy on the internet because you got a lot of messy motherfuckers on the internet. You got a lot of people online who are immature, who like to see black men going at each other's throats. And I personally don't really. It's like, okay, at what point are we actually creating something better? But then again, sometimes people have to be challenged, and I understand that. So I'm not here to say what that tell you what to think about that one way or the other. But here's one other thing about Kwame's platform I noticed that I think he may want to think about. And hit the thumbs up button, by the way. Please hit the thumbs up button because we're building black media, and I'd love your help. And please subscribe to the channel and all that stuff. Umar, let's see, somebody said Umar does have a school. Um, okay, I haven't seen the school, but then again, maybe if I'm wrong, send me some information. But honestly, I think Umar. I'll talk about Umar later. I'm not here to talk about Umar. The real Derek Jackson says, "Boyce, you are a beta male." Well, fuck you. So there you go. Fuck you from a beta male. Let's see. Speak about it. Let's build and stop beefing. Absolutely. He got married. Duh. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I married a beautiful black woman. Unsubscribing at the moment. Yes, you should unsubscribe. This is a platform for intelligent black people. So I personally think you should unsubscribe if you're not happy here. Like, this is not, being here is a privilege, not a right. So, so yeah, just, I mean, I'm not here to try to get as many followers as possible because I already, decided in the beginning, I only want like maybe 10% of the black community. I only want the 10% that want to be part of a few good men and women. I want the visionaries. I want the people that want to be intelligent. I want the people that want to build. I want the people that have courage and the people that have self-esteem that want to put their community first. So that's what I want. Like, I don't really care about the chatty people and the ignorant people because if you cater to ignorant people, then you got to be an ignorant motherfucker to fit in. if all your audience is full of dumbass people who believe in dumbass things, then you got to be a dumbass to make them happy. The minute you start to think intelligently, you're going to lose them, right? So I'd rather lose the audience in advance than to build the audience and then be like, man, they ain't following me no more. They don't like me no more because I said something smart. I challenged them to think, and now they're mad. They think I'm speaking too over their head. No, I'm not. No, no, no. This is for certain people, right? And it's okay, right? But one little thing about Kwame's platform too that I think that I'm just observing. So peep this out. I'm worried that his channel is going to get taken down. I worry that they're going to come and get his YouTube channel, and the reason is this: first of all, you already got the Black Elite going crazy. They gonna get lawyers and shit on you. They got buddies at YouTube and all this other shit. So they gonna I think they gonna pull every string they possibly can because they are mortified of what this guy's doing. But the second piece is I saw one of his videos that he did today, and the title of the video, in the title, he used the N word, right? He used, I see y'all N words talking, right? I'm trying not to use the N word, so I'm trying to do better. And here's the thing: they can technically define that to be hate speech. If a white guy, pay attention now, listen to me. I want you to really hear me. Now, don't before you get mad, before you start thinking like, oh, this is he dissing Kwame. No, just because somebody ain't agreeing with every fucking thing somebody says, that means you're a critical thinker. You ain't dissing nobody. Get out of that ghetto teenager mindset. Like, start growing the fuck up. God damn it. So here's the thing: I want you to process this. If a white guy, and tell me this, if a white guy went on YouTube right now and made a video, and in the title he put, I see you N words, Niggas, I see you N words talking. Give me a yes or no. Do you think that they will be able to take that video down or take down that channel? What's wrong, babe?
I got everything filled out and my finger hit a button. Are you online?
Yes, I am.
We got things we got to do. Right
okay,
now.
let's go.
Let's
Let's
get
in the car.
time.
Let's get in the car.
Okay.
So tell me this: if a white guy had a video with that title, do you think that his channel would be at risk of being taken down? Give me a yes or no. All right, everybody who's talking shit, just know you're being ignored. I can't even read the comment, so just know your comment is not even being seen. So give me a yes or no. Right. So my warning to Kwame as his brother supporting him, again, I'm a net supporter of Kwame. I think the Black Elite need to be called out. Y'all know I've been down with Dr. Claude Anderson and all this other stuff. So a lot of the stuff he's saying, y'all know we've been saying this for years. So these are things that we believe in completely. I'm glad more people are saying these things. Rajon Rondo, who plays for the Lakers, I think, hit me up and he sent me a note saying, why do you think black athletes are brainwashed? And I didn't get a chance to talk to Rajon. He's from Louisville like I am. I look forward to talking to him because I do think that, unfortunately, mainstream media, white-owned media, seeks to brainwash and control black people. I just believe that. So I'm happy, I'm elated that you have an athlete that is using his critical thinking skill, that is displaying something other than the fact that he's 7 feet tall and can dribble a basketball. I don't give a shit about that. We got a lot of guys that can dribble basketballs. I love the fact that he's spoken on the way the black elite tend to lead behind the masses. Don't teach black folks nothing. Don't teach. Rappers will rap about how they got $10 million, but won't teach you a damn thing about how to make that money. I hate all of that. It's stupid. It's ignorant culture. It's self-destructive. It's ridiculous. So Kwame's calling this out, and I love it. And the reason I'm making this point is because I don't want him to lose his platform, right? But at some point, somebody might come in there. A YouTube executive might come into a meeting and say, okay, this video's got the N word in the title, and he's using the N word left and right all throughout this video. Are we just protecting him because he's black? Because this actually, now pay attention now, this connects to a point Kwame himself made. Kwame himself made this point about white media. This is only for critical thinkers here. Dumbass people aren't going to get this point, but smart people will understand what I'm saying here. He made a point about Steven Jackson, and he said, you made all these threats to me, sir. You said these things about me, sir. You said you had all the smoke for me, sir, and they were okay with that because you were coming after a black man. If you were a white guy, you'd be getting fired for that. Does anybody remember him saying that? If you've been watching Kwame, you remember him saying that because I've been studying the brother, and so that point that he made to point out that racial double standard in white-owned media is the same racial double standard that might actually protect his channel. Because if he were a white guy using the N-word in his titles and using the N word in every other sentence, his shit would be gone like that. So don't think that there are not elite people that are trying to find any little loophole to get rid of him. So what I would encourage your brother to do, if he ever called me, and of course if he's watching and sees this video, nah man, I don't need mama's cooking. I got a mama. My mama knows how to cook too. I got a woman that knows how to cook. So I don't need mama's cooking. But if you want to give it to me, I don't give a shit. My point is that you got to protect your channel, man. You got to protect your platform, bro. And again, if he wants to ever come on this channel, I'd invite him in. I don't give a shit. I don't. I'm not threatened by other ideas, right? Even if I disagreed with him, I would still invite him in because it sounds to me like he's trying to do the right thing, and it sounds to me like he's B1. And I'm not going to disrespect another B1 soldier. So critiquing something or pointing something out for somebody's benefit is not the same as being a hater. And anybody who thinks that way, I really hope you will unsubscribe from my channel right now because clearly this conversation is above your pay grade. I'm talking to people who want to be strategic. It goes back to when Snoop Dogg called Gayle King a doghead bitch. When anybody remember that? When Snoop called Gayle King a doghead bitch, I said, man, you shouldn't have said that. I said, bro, why did you have to call her a doghead bitch? If you use words like that, you better be ready. You better be strapped and loaded and prepared to defend yourself because they're going to divert all the attention away from what Gayle did to what you just said about her, and it's going to undermine the whole movement. It's going to undermine everything that you're doing. And what happened? What happened? I said it, and people are like, oh, you just hating on Snoop. You just hating. You just hate. What happened to Snoop? Snoop was buckling like a bitch. Snoop was apologizing. He apologized so much that his jaws got tired from saying the words, I apologize, right? Snoop apologized not once, not twice, like 4 or 5 times. They Nick Cannon his ass like a motherfucker. They buck broke him like a bitch in public in front of everybody because he did not understand that in war, you must have discipline. To win a war, you must have discipline. So speaking of discipline, I got to go. Alicia's giving me a look. Do you know how to get back to the place? Do you need my help? Okay. I got to go. We just got a car, and Alicia's looking at me crazy. So she's like, get off the phone. So I got to go, guys. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the share button. Hit the subscribe button. My Twitter is Dr. Boyce Watkins 1. It's right there. Follow me on Twitter, and we'll continue the conversation. But again, only intelligent black people who are B1. I don't really care about the buckle-minded Negroes. They can go do something else. So talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Love you.